Welcome to Midwestern Kitchen. Today we're going to make butter from scratch. To make butter, all you'll need is a few things. A standing mixer, a scale, a fourth teaspoon to add the salt to the butter. Every 4 ounces of butter is going to be a fourth a teaspoon of salt. I have this where I can add in the butter to make butter sticks for recipes, which will be amazing, as well as a spatula to smooth it out. Pink Himalayan salt. Any salt would be fine though. Heavy whipping cream, it's the main thing we'll need. And then I bought this because I really like tabletop soft butter and I don't want it to go bad. It gets nasty really quickly. So with this, you just put a little bit of water in here, about an inch or two of water, and then you put the soft butter in here, cover it, and you just use that. It's wonderful. You can get them on Amazon as well as I got mine in a craft cracker because I just thought it was beautiful. So with that being said, let's start and make the butter. So for this recipe, I used a big bowl because I have 64 ounces of heavy whipping cream. And in this, I've only used about 16 in a recipe recently, so it's quite a bit still left. It'll make quite a bit of butter. So I'm just going to open that. I'm going to do mine. I took mine straight from the fridge, so no need to warm it up at all, and just pour it on in. That's a noise. That's okay. Calm down. It's getting a little frisky, jumping everywhere. I'm a little speckled now, but that's fine. Just get all of that goodness in there. Because no lie, homemade butter is way better than the store-bought. Put that to the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and lift this so that it's touching the bottom. And I'm going to turn it on slowly. Leave it about a 6 so that it doesn't splatter everywhere. And you'll watch it, it'll foam up, and then it'll start getting to the consistency of almost whipped cream. And that's when I will up it to an 8. Currently is on a 6. Turn it up just a little bit to try to speed up the process. It's taking quite a while. You can see that it is thickening quite a bit more, going towards the center from the outer edges, which is great. It's cold, feels nice. It's actually cooling down in the Midwest, which is amazing because I'm not a huge fan of summer. Yes, you can do more outside, but I'm definitely a girl that loves fall. Sweater weather is my favorite weather. Oh, it's thickening. It's getting closer to that whipped cream consistency. When it does, I'll pull this up so you can see it, how stiff it is, to show you that it's more whipped creamy than anything else. This is the step right before you start to see it separate from the liquids and become more butter-esque. Ooh, here's some applause here. And I'm just going to drop this down so you can see that even though it jiggles, it's quite thick. It's not anywhere close to how liquidy it is when it comes straight out of the heavy whipping cream carton. I'm going to turn it back up to an 8. And once it starts separating, I'm going to turn it down. Look how beautiful that is. This is where you could turn it into whipped cream if you wanted to add sugar and maybe vanilla to it. I might try that in a future video. This is the part, if you don't pay attention, it can go from whipped to splattering buttermilk everywhere. So make sure you're watching it closely at this point so that you can turn it down when needed so it doesn't splatter everything. I made that mistake the first time I made butter. Got it all over my walls. I'm going to scrape down the sides to try to get some of this off. And keep it in there. Waste not. Oh, aggressive. Dramatic. starting to smell more like butter than it was heavy whipping cream. Oh, it's starting to darken as well. If you can see that, it's not as white anymore. I'm just going to manipulate my bowl a little bit so that it gets more of the sides. Some people yelling in the comments for just smacking my spoon against my spatula. So you can see it's almost like starting to get chunkier. Exactly what we like to see. I can also, if you can see it at the bottom, you can see a little bit of the metal. That means that it's scraping all the bottom, which is what we want. We don't want any of that liquid just trapped in the bottom, mixing out on some delicious butter. Now we've lowered the speed just a smidge because it's starting to get more damp and it's starting to spit out some of the liquids, also known as buttermilk, when we're done with this, which we will keep and use to soak our chicken or to use in pancakes. There's many usages. I'm going to turn it a little more because it's starting to get a lot of liquid in there. Just going to keep it at a 2. Nope, sorry, 1. Lies. Oop. Keep it at a 1. Just make sure it's all done. Look at that. It's all separated. So we are now done making the butter itself. Now we're going to transfer it over to a sheet. We are going to transfer it over to parchment paper here. And then I'm going to add the salt. The butter is formed. We're going to take off the whisk. And we're going to take out the butter. I'm putting it right into an ice bath. I am going to form it into one ball, but there's kind of a lot. It's kind of hard to get out of here, so just pull that all off. So we can get all the goodness off of here. Delicious butter. Put that in there for now. Now I'm just going to squeeze it together. If you can see there's some cloudy white coming off of it. That is the buttermilk, as well as some water, because realistically it's in cold water. It's very cold on my fingers. Freezing. Oh, nasty. It's dripping back in the water. It's delicious though. Sometimes the best tasting foods sometimes feel the grossest to deal with. Sometimes smell gross too. Okay, grab all the little bits, stick them on there. I'm going to form that into a ball, squeezing to try to get as much of that excess moisture out. Apologies, I did not mention that you needed a bowl with ice water in it. Hopefully everybody that wants to try it will have access to a bowl, which if you cook at all, or bake, which I actually did do before cooking, a lot more than I cooked. Just getting the excess butter from the bottom here. Don't really want to waste any because I will use it all at some point. I'm just scraping the bottom of the buttermilk to grab the extra pieces. And we're just going to include it in this big round butter ball. Squeezing out the excess buttermilk. when I've gotten as much as I can out, I am going to place it on my parchment paper. And I'm going to flatten a little bit. I'm not going to flatten it. I'm going to actually weigh it first so that I know how much butter I have so I can add the salt. I'm going to turn on my scale if I can because my hands are all buttery. Wipe them off first. Wipe off the time and true. With my scale on and at pounds and ounces, I'm going to weigh my butter so that I can add in the correct amount of salt. So weighing it here, I get 1 pound 4 ounces or 19 ounces. I'm at about 4 and maybe a half of these 1/4 teaspoons to get enough salt for all this butter. So I'm going to try to flatten it out a bit. Just going to use my hands, my palms. Clearly the tape didn't do much. Pointless. If you have a rolling pin, you can use a rolling pin. I only have a wood one and I don't really want butter stuck all over it. Just try to flatten it out as much as possible. It tooted. All right. Now I'm going to dry my hands off enough that I can manipulate the him. Actually, you know what? So sorry, I messed up my first video and forgot to shoot a few things and accidentally hit pause on my video during that time, so I apologize. All you did miss was me adding the butter to my tabletop butter. So I scooped it all in there and then put a little bit of water down here to keep it clean. Just to about here that I added the water so it comes up and creates a seal around it, making it safe, tabletop safe. So I'll be able to use that and it'll be spreadable, which would be great. I'll have to change the water every 2 to 3 days. And then I scooped all of my butter into my butter mold for sticks. So I would have 4 sticks, as well as I put what was left of the buttermilk, which is the liquid that was left. There's also a few butter chunks still in that liquid. I added to this that I will use to make pancakes. I could also use it to marinate chicken just to keep a little bit more moisture in there to lock them in. I put in the date that I did it. I'm going to leave it on my countertop for 12 hours and then stick it in my fridge just so it can thicken a little bit. So about 48 ounces of heavy whipping cream made 4 full sticks of butter and probably about 4 to 6 ounces of spreadable butter that I'm going to keep on my tabletop. Thank you for watching, and I'm excited to do more cooking and scratch cooking with you.